Hello everyone, welcome back to FX021. In this new tutorial series, I'm gonna teach you how to make Shang-Chi's shield effect. And this is gonna be about intermediate level series, and yeah, I'm gonna walk you through the project and teach you how to make this effect. So it's gonna be multi-layers. So we're gonna create these rings, and we're gonna procedural animate them, and then I'm gonna add these trails and the sparks and these smoke and particle effects on top of them, and then we're gonna render this out. Yeah, so let's get started. So the first thing we want to do is create a ring, 10 rings. So I'm not gonna model a very detailed one because it's not a modeling tutorial. So yeah, but you can feel free to download any free model or any paid model online. Yeah, but I'm gonna model my own. So let's hit tab, geo. So and name it ring. And go inside, I'm gonna use a tube. By the way, I'm using Houdini 19, so the interface might be a little bit different than yours, but mostly are same. So yeah, so I'm creating a tube and change it height like this, and I'm gonna change my viewport to dark. So hit D on the viewport and go to the background tab here, change it to dark. And yeah, now you can see the polygon lines. I'm gonna change the color to 50. Yeah, and now I'm gonna extrude it. So use poly extrude, connect, and add a little bit distance. And now you can see there's no back face there. So go to here, output back. And we also want some groups, maybe extrude front. You can see the group by clicking the icon here. Now you can see when you hover your mouse here, you can see extrude front here. It's the group we extrude. Okay. Now turn off this and add another poly extrude. And hit W to go to the wireframe world and put our view flag on the poly extrude. I'm gonna first you need to go to the group, select the group we created. It's the front faces, and we're gonna inset it, and then put it backwards a little bit. It's too much. Yeah, I think this is good. And now you can add a normal node to smooth this out a little bit. Yeah, I think, yeah, that's our rings. Yeah, pretty simple, because you know, it's gonna move very fast, and it's gonna be motion blurred, so you're not gonna see details like on this part. And I'm gonna to make this ring glow, so it's I think it doesn't matter how good your model is, so I'm gonna use this one. So yeah, now let's create a node here, cut out. Yeah, and now let's create our procedural animation on the shield. Yeah. So let's go back to object level, create another geo. And this is what we call range animated. By the way, if you are an animator or you are good at animation, you can animate your rings, and I'm not a good animator, so I'm gonna do it procedurally. So first thing first, you need to hide other objects so you don't see the rings in the viewport. Now let's create a sphere. So this is our shield, and our camera will be here, and then it's gonna explode here, dun dun dun. Yeah, so we want more frequency on it, so we add more rows. Now let's change it to polygon and add more frequency. Yeah, about 30. And we can clip this, so we don't want a back one. Let's change the direction to -100. Yeah, and we can add a mountain node to give a little bit noise on the surface, to add a little bit detail. It's too much, so yeah, it's Houdini 19, so the mountain node is a little bit different. The main thing is you can change the amplitude, and you can change the element size. I'm gonna keep it here. And you can also add animate noise. So when you play your animation, it's gonna be like this. And in Houdini 18, I think they don't have this option here. You can go to you can use the $T to animate. So yeah, you can use $T if you are using Houdini 18 or 17. Revert to channel, revert to default. Yeah. So what we want to do here is this shield effect, and you can see the breakdown when you search Shang-Chi VFX here, and you notice that the rings here are moving on the surface of the sphere. So that's what we're gonna do. And what we're gonna do is do a particle simulation here and ray this point onto the surface of the sphere. So and then it will slide on the surface. So now we're gonna do a particle simulation, and you can't do it on this sphere. Like if you do a particle simulation on this sphere and then ray back this point to this, it will be all over the sphere. But we only want on the front face, only one on here. So we're gonna do the particle simulation here and ray these points back to the surface here. Okay. So let's get started to create our effects. Now, first thing first, we want to put it above the ground. We can use match axis, I think. No, match size. Put it here. And change it to minimum here, justify Y. And now you can see, yeah, it's above the ground. And now we're gonna transform this one. Put the purple view fillet on this. We're gonna template this. And we're gonna transform this one from the x-axis. So translate around here, I think. Yeah. And so we're gonna do the particle simulation here and ray this back to that surface here. And we want to make it smaller, 0.8. So we do the particle simulation here, and ray the particle simulation on the sphere first, and then ray this back to here. Okay, and when you change the scale of it, you can see the origin is here. So what we can change is here, use $CEX, $CY, $CZ, and now you can see it's in the center. So yeah, and we can add some velocity to it. So you can see the normal. We don't have normal yet, but we can add our normal to the point, so change it to point. So this is our normal, and this is direction where I want my particle to emit. So I'm write a wrangle node here to transfer my normal value to the velocity, and the normal is a vector that's perpendicular to the surface. So yeah, we're gonna use v at v, means vector velocity equals at normal. You can use v at normal, but I'm gonna just use at normal, or you can just use at v, because these are the attributes that Houdini come with. So Houdini knows it's a vector. If it's your custom attribute, then you need to write v at v. Okay, so let's call it set v, and now you can visualize your velocity here. It's not easier to see, but yeah, it's there, it's same. And now we're gonna do a pop network particle simulation here. I'm gonna turn on point display, and let's hit play. So now there are too much. We want only 10 particles because it's a 10 rings effect. So let's go to the pop source here, go to the burst, turn off constant activation, and we want to emit 10 particles, and let's hit play. And let's turn off the guide here. So why we have count 10 but it's still emitting that much particles, it's because when you hover your mouse on the activation here, you can see 1 means on, 0 means off, and it means like it will emit particles every second. The constant activation here will emit 5,000 every second, and this one here will emit 10 particles every frame. So we only want to emit 10, so we only want to emit on our first frame. So let's write $F equals 1 and click. So you can see on the first frame it's 1, and when I go to second frame it's 2, and when we go to the second frame it becomes 0, and 0 means off. So only the first frame is on, and that's, now you can see there are only 10 particles. You can turn on the point display, you can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah, 10 particles. And yeah, so it's $F equals 1. $F is our frame, so frame equals 1 at 12. Yeah, and it's correct, so it's 1. And if frame is equals to 2, then 2 not equal to 1, so it's not emitting any particles. So now we have our particles. We want to turn on our guide. Yeah, now we have our particles. We want to ray back these particles onto the surface of this sphere. So what we're gonna use is a subsolver. This can bring the sub-level object into your dot network. So just connect it here, double click inside, we're gonna use the object merge here. So, and go back to the object level here. We want, we want this sphere here. We'll create it now. Alright, Geo. And Control C to copy it. And go back to our prop network. Control V. Now you can see it's inside our DOP network. And we want to use a ray node. So the point gotta be our particles. It's the DOP geometry. And the collision primitive is gonna be our sphere we input. And go to the first frame and ray. So we're gonna ray, the method of ray is gonna be minimum distance. So they will find the collision geo in the minimum distance, and then they will be on the surface of them. And now let's go back. And now you can turn off the guide here. And you can see these particles are on the surface, but they are not moving. Why? Because we don't have enough forces. So let's add a little bit noise. So maybe a pop wing here. And connect here. And now turn on amplitude a little bit. And now you can see, yeah, it's moving on the surface of the sphere. So now you just need to change some value to get your favorite settings, favorite animations here. I'm gonna adjust it a little bit, so I'm gonna pause the recording. Okay, so now this is my settings here. I changed the amplitudes, the swirl size, and turbulence roughness. So this is what I got here. And now let's go back to the sub level here. So now that we have this point here, and now we want, let's put our template on the mountain node here. So now we have our particle simulation down. We want right back to this shield geo, so it will only be on the surface here. And that's the reason why I scale this here to 0.8, so it always gonna rate to the surface. It will not beyond this geo. So we're gonna use a ray node here again. The point is our point particle simulation, and collision geo is our mountain node here. And let's see, we can turn off this one. So how we gonna ray this? This time we not gonna use our project rays. We're gonna use our normals. So the normals, we just talk about it. We talk about here. This is our normal, but we can also customize our normals. So now you can see the normal like this. This is particles normals, and we can set our normals. So let's use another attribute wrangle here. So the direction we want to ray is here. It's on the x-axis. So our normal is gonna be 100. So now you see the normal is like this. It's 100, and this is the direction we want to ray onto the surface. So now you look at the ray node now, because it's set direction from normal, so it snaps to the surface now, and we can turn off show guide don't show it. Let's show the guide geometry here, and now let's see the animation. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think it's a little bit fast, so I'm gonna change the pop network simulation a little bit. Maybe lower the amplitude here. Let's see. Maybe sort of size. Yeah, I'm gonna pause the recording and adjust a little bit. So yeah. Hey, I'm back. So that's my values here. You can copy it or you can just make your own. It doesn't matter. So yeah, so I got my particle simulation here. So that's what I say. If you are an animator, you can animate yourself because it's gonna be better than this one. But yeah, that's what we're gonna use. So now it's called rings animate. So let's bring our rings here. So object merge here. What do we want to merge? It's the rings here. So Control C, go back, Control V. And now you can see it's too big. So let's go back to the ring, add a transform node here. Scale down a little bit, maybe 0.1. Now let's go back. Yeah, I think it's good. Now let's copy it to point. This is the geometry to copy, and this is the target point. So now let's see. We can turn off the point display here. Now you can see it's a little bit weird because the direction is a little bit weird. It's because the direction is dependent on our normal direction, and we set our normal to the 100. That's why it's all the same. So we're gonna add attribute randomize here to randomize our normal. So use attribute randomize here. And now the default is CD here, so it's color, so randomize the color. But we want to change to normal. And now you can see it's a different direction. And we also want we don't want this to like be this direction when we do the animation here. It's a little bit weird, so let's go back to the rings geo here, and we're gonna rotate him. So the rotate value is gonna be $F. Maybe here $F plus 5 $F. So now let's play. Now you can see the rings are animated here. Maybe delete channels. Maybe we only want $F here. Let's see. Delete channels 0. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna put $F here. It's rotating, so it's too slow. We can times 20 here. And now let's see. Yeah, it's rotating. And now let's go back to the rings animated here. And now you can see here the rings are rotating and they are copied to the point. So it's more like a 10 rings effect here. And let's template our shield here. So yeah, I think ring is still a little bit too big. Now let's go to the rings here. 0.05 back. Yeah, I think now it's good. Yeah, looks good to me. And it's on the surface of the sphere. And now what we're gonna do is we want to add smoke, but we're not gonna do this in this chapter. Let's talk about in the next chapter. Okay, we're gonna do the smoke here. It's not gonna be a simulation, it's gonna be a fake simulation, so we don't need to simulate anything there because it's just a trail. we're gonna create lines behind each rings and then convert that to a volume. And yeah, so see you in next chapter. If you liked the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and thank you very much.